Hey everybody, this is Wally with Fan Fishing Classroom, and let's talk the fourth episode of Legends of Tomorrow. Now let's talk about what the actors thought about this episode. Ray Palmer, after destroying his Atom suit while taking down the Shogun in feudal Japan, he now is left wondering what, if anything, he can bring to the series team, especially when whipping up another Atom suit is not like going to Home Depot. You just can't find that stuff anywhere. Ray's going to be without his armor, at least for the next couple of episodes. We should see it by the giant crossover. Ray doesn't have any Dwarf Star alloy, so he's kind of screwed, says Ray's portrayer Brandon Routh, alluding to the extremely rare element that gives the Atom suit its shrinking ability. It's become a serious story point, how he became the Atom. Brendan Routh continues saying that this is an opportunity for him to figure out the whole hero business, and he's trying to figure out what it is to be a hero, and if he's a hero without his suit. And this is going to be a part of the next 3 episodes, him dealing with this. As Ray deals with his performance issues, the Legends tonight were dealing with the aberration in 1863, landing them into the Civil War. Only in this scenario, there's zombies, a part of the Confederate Army. That was so funny. Even so, the nature of the historical conflict presents an extra layer of drama for Jax and the JSA member Amaya, the past Vixen. The Vixen actress, Massey Richardson Sellers, that is a long name, said that because it's dealing with quite a delicate subject matter, slavery, alongside the slightly comical subject of zombies, but I think we've done it in a very sensitive way. For Amaya and Jax to experience slavery firsthand, they get into some pretty sticky situations, she said. That brings them closer, and it sort of opens her eyes to the world that she's never really known about, which is her heritage. For those two especially, it was quite an emotional episode. What was brilliant about this episode wasn't fighting zombies, which was pretty funny. It was the heart-wrenching brutality of the time period they were in Mississippi during the Civil War. Jax and Amaya being down there, experiencing and seeing it firsthand. Amaya at the beginning, she had a hard time holding back. She didn't want to let what she saw happen, the people be hurt. Well, Jax knew that interfering could make history worse, but after seeing and experiencing it, like Amaya was in the beginning, Jax realized that to not change things, to not save these people, would be a worse aberration, and I think that's an apt description of wanting to change things in the worst period of American history. Despite the brutality, there were little signs and rays of hope in the episode, whether it's Sarah being inspired by General Ulysses S. Grant, him helping her come to terms with her position as captain, and that her fear for her team and their well-being is a pressure and a burden on her, but it's one where she can bear it, that she just has to trust in her friends and allies, that they can get the job done, that they can protect themselves, and then that they'll protect each other. And that's something that I think she realized a little bit at the end of the episode with her. And the hope coming from the slaves, the little bit of hope they can inspire in themselves and in each other through the freedom songs that they sung. Well, even though they were still experiencing the worst kind of brutality that humanity has to offer, you can still hear the hope in their voices and their singing, that one day they will know freedom, that they will know peace. And I think that was an amazing thing to have portrayed in this episode. Another thing that I find pretty amazing in this episode was how Ray tried to find himself in it. I know he's going to be looking into it for a while, the next few episodes, how he fits in as part of the team, if he's a hero at all anymore. And I think Mick, at the end, had a good thing to say to him, a good pep talk, kind of. It's okay to be on the outside. You can pretty much do whatever you want. You can find and blaze your own path. And then he gave Ray the cold gun. It's like, you're my partner, I need somebody to have my back, that type of thing. The one thing that made this episode funny in a couple of parts was the zombies. The biggest funny part was Stein had a crippling fear. I mean, he was pretty much useless until the end, where he's like, I got to be brave just a little bit. I don't want to get eaten, but I kind of have to man up. And even though he's like shivering and shaking the entire time, he saves Mick from being a zombie, and it was just the lighter side of the story. I think this was a great episode. I mean, despite the zombies, the comedic and the action part of it, the representation of what time they were filming in, how they showed it was both tactful and impressive. I mean, being able to show something act out something so horrific while still portraying that there is light and hope for the future. I think whoever wrote and the people that acted in this episode really represented something important in our history, and I want to hear your opinions on the episode, my thoughts about how they filmed it. This is it for Fan Fiction Classroom. Class dismissed.